This is Math 110, Section 3.2, Example 4 from the notes. We have another word problem here, and it says, suppose a company's prices of a certain item start at $200. And then they have trouble selling it at that price, so they decrease the price by 10% each week. All right, so our goal here is we want to find a function or an equation to model what's going on with price. It's an exponential function, f of x equals ab to the x. So when I look here, I see that we start the price at $200. That's my A. That's my initial value. And then it says that when we have trouble selling it, I decrease the price by 10% each week. So it gave it to us in a percentage. So that's my rate as a percentage. So the rate is negative 10%. That's my rate. But when I write my equation, I don't write it in percentage. I write it as a decimal. Okay, so I have to write R as a decimal. I'm going to move the decimal place to the left 2 places. This is negative 0.10 is my rate. All right, and then I know that B is equal to 1 plus rate. Well, in this case, I have a negative rate, so it's 1 minus 0.1, which equals 0.90. So now I have all my pieces here. I have my B is equal to 0.9. I have my A is equal to 200. So I can write this equation. So I have Y equals 200 times 0.9 raised to the x. Let's go back and finish our intercept. So I know that my initial value is also the intercept. So when x is 0, y is equal to 200. That's going to be my intercept. And if this is 200 here, 400, I know it's going to go right through the y-axis here. And so here's my function. I'm going to input the number of weeks, and then I get an output of price, okay? Because it's telling me that I'm decreasing the price by 10% each week. So I input how many weeks go by, and my output is price. And again, I wrote the function up here, y, or I could say f of x equals 200 times 0.9 raised to the x. So if we sketch a couple points, again here, this is my y-intercept here. This becomes f of 0 is equal to 200 b to the 0, which is just anything to the 0 power is 1. So the point 0, 200 is on my graph. Let's go ahead and put this in Excel, and we can get a couple other points. But again, before we even do that, I know that this is decreasing. My R value is negative. My B value is between 0 and 1. It's less than 1, right? So I already know it's going to be a decay function. So I know that it's going to start off big, and then it's going to come down and get smaller and smaller. So the right tail is going to be where my asymptote is, and the left tail is going to be sort of driving up to infinity. Let's go ahead and put this in Excel though, so we can find a couple other exact points. So I've already put my formula in. This is equal to 200 times 0.9 raised to the x value. And in this case, I started my x values negative because I want to see what's going on over here on this side, just to get a visual as to what the full graph looks like. And then I carry it all the way down to 95 weeks. So let's fill that in. Okay, so here is my intercept here, 0 to 100. We already knew that because that's my initial amount. Let's pick this point here. when x equals -10, y equals 573. And then let's pick another one down here. I don't know, when x equals 11, y equals 62. And so we could just sketch those points here on the graph. And we can estimate that. Let's see, 5, 10, 400, 500. Okay, so we could say this is the point, -10, 573.6. And then down here, 5, 10, we could say that 11 is equal to 62. So you can see if I had better graph paper, I could actually come up with a couple additional points here and I would plot them, and then I could get a better sketch of this function. All right, so let's go back and see what the other questions are asking me. So down here it says find the price after 11 weeks. After 11 weeks. Okay, so I know that weeks is my input. So what I want to find is F11 is equal to what? So that's an input. If I go to Excel here, oh, I can already see here that I have 11 right in my input-output table. When we're at 11 weeks, then the price is $62.76. $62.76. All right, when will the item cost only a penny? So cost is my output and my input is weeks. So this problem is telling me that f of x equals 0.01. That's what a penny looks like in decimal form, 0.01. And so I want to solve for x when the price is equal to 0.01. So this is my output that it gave me. So this means I'm going to use solver. So let's go here to Excel. And I'm going to go down to my output column, and I want to keep going. So this is $5, $2. I'm going to come down to where it's closest to 1 cent. So actually it looks, somewhere between 90 and 95. Let's just see what happens here at 90 weeks. Let's use solver, data, solver. And I want to force this cell to equal 1 cent. That's my output. And I want to put my result here in the input column. Okay. And I find that at about 94 weeks, my price would be 1 cent. Okay. So if I come down here, x equals 94 weeks. So at 94 weeks, my price is equal to 0.01.